it's Doris with All the Books, and I'm here with a surprise biannual book review. This one is on The Dovekeepers by Alice Hoffman, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this book as I was reading it. I was in the mood to just really be absorbed by a story, and this is a 500-page epic saga, historical fiction, set about 2,000 years ago. The second fall of the temple in Israel against the Romans. Yeah. And after I finished, I've been reading a lot of books set in the Middle East this month and surrounding Islam and Judaism. And yeah, this one really, it was after I finished reading it and just kept thinking about it that I realized this book just packs a lot of thoughts into it. This is my first Alice Hoffman, so I'm definitely looking to read more of her. I know she wrote Practical Magic and a prequel to that came out this past year. But if you've read any Alice Hoffman that you love, please let me know in the comments below, because I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for more of her. But this one, what really struck me about it, there were several things. She spent 5 years researching it, and you can really tell. I don't always enjoy reading stories set so long ago. They just seem kind of stilted and overly descriptive, and this one is neither of those things. It reads like a modern story, except it's not. And she uses, like, in her research, like, one of the things that she used was an artifact, a Hebrew artifact that was found in Wales is part of the storyline, you know, woven into a character story. It's just, her creativity with the historical facts is just lovely, brilliant in this book. But getting to the things that really struck out at me, feminism. This story is for women. So it's essentially divided into 4 sections in an epilogue, and each section is told from the point of view of a different woman in the story. And the storyline keeps pushing forward through all 4 sections as the views shift, but you also get backstory from each character as the sections progress. So I swear, it's just so fascinating. But the feminism, like, she writes women so well. She writes about, you know, petty and not so petty drama between women, and it's just so realistic. But then she goes on to write how, you know, those problems are resolved and peace is brought about with them. She writes how the women support themselves in a patriarchal society, support each other, and power through together. It's really beautiful. You really get a historical sense of how women were treated back then, and especially in this society, and the very subservient and lesser role that they played in men's eyes. Men couldn't even touch women unless, yeah, I mean, it was just, ooh, evil thing, unless they were, you know, a sister or married to them. It was just, she just writes it so well. And another thing that I really loved about this was, I think Judaism today, you know, we focus on the Holocaust and the intellectual and traditional aspects of it, but she really goes back and writes different sects of Judaism so well. She talks about, you know, traditional Judaism and the very warmongering sect. I don't remember what she called those. In the Essenes, with, you know, if you're familiar with the Dead Sea Scrolls, that branch, conscientious objector types, and very, very focused in their beliefs. And then she talks about this Egyptian sect of Judaism that had women as a prominent role with the priests, and, you know, a little of that going on, but also both in the traditional sect and in this Egyptian sect that didn't focus on females but had a very feminine aspect to it. She brings in this element of mysticism that's just fascinating to read and very historical, I believe, with her research. But yeah, if you are one that likes to read fantasy and doesn't read much historical fiction, but you want to give it a whirl, this might be a book for you, because in many places it really reads like a fantasy fiction novel. So yeah, it's not only enjoyable, but it gives you thoughts along the way. So I highly suggest this book, and I highly love Alice Hoffman now. And the one other thing I think is, from a historical context, I mean, this really, really set the stage for understanding the roots of Judaism. I mean, as much as a fictional novel can, but I just really like learning some of history through fiction, because it sets it, you know, you might read all of these stories, you know, as facts, but they get this 3D effect through a novel format, and it just really brings them to life and solidifies them more, I think. But the other thing I grabbed from it was, historically speaking, how the teachings of Jesus elevated women in society. Because when you read this book, yeah, women weren't much. And, you know, it's just interesting to think about how different aspects of religion have changed the way we view each other in the world. So yeah, anyway, great book, definitely. I just bought this on a whim, like when I first joined BookTube. It was Books A Million, one of those buy two get one free sections, and I don't know, I just picked it up on a whim, and it's been sitting on my shelf ever since. And every time I mention it, somebody says, oh, that's a great book, and I don't know why I wasn't led to it, but I'm so glad I finally read it. And again, if you have a favorite Alice Hoffman, please let me know, because I will definitely be looking to buy some more of her this year. Faux show. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will be back soon. Bye!